What's up, gamers? This week I'm talking about music, something I never speak on and know very little about. It's Wrapped season. Everyone's Spotify Wrapped is coming out, and to the iTunes people who want to have kind of better quality music and actually support artists are taking screenshots of their ugly shit to share as well. Anyway, in an effort to teach you all a little bit more about myself and to share some awesome music I've heard this year, I decided to go through my Spotify Wrapped with you, and by extension, defending my musical taste in general. Before we get too far into it, I'm going to teach you a lot about myself here, and I'd love to learn a little bit about you. So if you're willing, head to the comments and type your top 5 artists and your top 5 songs, and then say something interesting about that list. For example, my friend showed me this artist and now they're my favorite, or I work out to this track all the time, or my kids love this song and that's why it's on the list. Thank you so much. Let's get into it. I guess I should talk a little bit about my musical taste in general to just inform what you're about to see. This was my top 100 of last year. You can see Hot to Go, Early Adopter 2023. Thank you very much. Carly Rae Jepsen, Boy Genius. I like this song by Phoebe Bridgers from the Minions Rise of Gru song that was, I guess, a cover from the Carpenters. I thought she wrote it, and I talked to someone about it, and they said, no, she didn't write that. That's a Carpenter song. And I felt really stupid. Anyway, I'm just going to quickly scroll through this list here. Hopefully there's nothing extremely problematic. I think I did ironically listen to some Kid Rock songs, and now that I'm saying that, I'm realizing that this is the second reference in 2 videos that I've made about me listening to Kid Rock, but I don't listen to Kid Rock anymore. Basically, it just kind of comes down to a few genres for me. It's pop music, it's country music, and it's show tunes. I know that's a weird bag, so am I. Now that you understand me just a little bit, let's get into 2024. Okay, right off the bat, my Spotify Wrapped, that sounded like a rap there. Right off the bat, my Spotify Wrapped as fuck because I listened to this kind of track. Sorry about that. Right off the bat, my Spotify Wrapped is, okay, I won't do that again. From the beginning, my Spotify Wrapped is kind of messed up because of this track here. This song, Wings of the Wind by Michael W. Smith, is a contemporary Christian, easy listening song from the 80s. Look, I like it, but it sounds like music that they would play on the Weather Channel, so I use it for my Twitch starting soon screen. Which means it gets played a lot. Not necessarily my favorite track, but according to Spotify, it is. This song, No More Birthdays by Sophia May, it was a TikTok song. She wrote it for Chicken Run, I think, as a perspective song for Chicken Run, whatever the new Chicken Run movie is. I'll stop saying Chicken Run now.
My baby don't cry, she just sleeps through the night.
But they didn't choose it. They went with a different song. And instead, we got it. The Regular Old Public. It's a very sweet song. It's a very good song. Number 3, I'm not going through all of these, I promise you. We'll start skipping a lot here coming up. But these are my top 5. Popular 2 by Cheekface. They made a sequel to the Wicked song? No, they didn't. I'm not smart about music, okay? Or much at all. So I can't really tell you what Cheekface sounds like other than they sound kind of like Cake. And I like that. I think that's good because I like Cake. The band and the food. I actually prefer donuts.
Subject verb, I wanna be disturbed. Just perturb the pigeons, how the pigeons are perturbed.
Popular 2 is great. Number 4 on my list was Timothy Chalamet's Hatful of Dreams, which is a song from the movie Wonka. I'm a big fan of Wonka. I think the music is great. I think Timmy does a great job. I went into it thinking it would not be good, and I was pleasantly surprised. So I'm hesitant to tell you that Wonka is great, because if you go watch it hearing me say that, a respected opinion of yours, and you don't like it, that's on me. So Wonka's okay, but you should watch it. Simply because of Wonka, Timothy Chalamet made my top 5 artists of 2024, which seems not completely representative because I don't know what his other music sounds like, if there is any at all. Statistics. Anyway, Hatful of Dreams is this, for my money, one of the best opening numbers of a new musical we've got in a long, long time. Got a tattered overcoat, battered suitcase, got a pair of leaky boots upon my feet. It tells you who Wonka is, and it tells you what he's about to do. And what he's about to do is fucking sell chocolate and sing. And I promise you he does both. Now I'm going to start skipping ahead. Pay close attention here. Chaperone is on the list a couple times. Of course she is. I have a heart beating in my chest and blood pumping through my veins. What do you expect? More Cheek Face. This Is Life is a song by Winnetka Bowling League, Medium Build, and Dawes. Those are three artists that I've listened to a bit this year.
This is life. This is life. This is life.
This is just kind of a wistful, nostalgic, looking back on growing up from someone who has already grown up. Next up, Appetit by Rose and Bruno Mars. This would have been the song of the summer had it not come out in October or September. I can't remember. I heard this like 4 weeks ago, and it's already made it to number 9 on my list. That tells you everything you need to know. Lady in Red by Krista Berg. It's no surprise that this is on the list. I sing this song at karaoke, and I listen to it a lot every year. I would say for as long as Spotify has been doing these Wrapped, Lady in Red has been on there and easily in the top 25. Torres, don't go putting wishes in my head. I'll tell you what Torres did put in my head. This tasty little track.
But now if you don't want me to go dreaming.
What a wonderful voice Torres has. More Winnetka Bowling League. The Weepies. For the second year in a row, James Blake is my number one artist, and I have my friend Garrett to thank for that. Big proponent of that music, and every time I'm around him, it's playing loud at a high volume. Fight Masters cover of I Will Follow You Into the Dark. I'm going to play a little bit of this because you got to hear it. This is a cover of Death Cab for Cuties' I Will Follow You Into the Dark, which for me, kind of like an emo/scene kid from the early 2000s. I don't know how you're getting better than that. This was in consideration for one of the songs that we danced to at our wedding. We didn't dance to that. We danced to Paramore, okay? Anyway, this cover is so gosh darn smooth, you can put it on a piece of bread and you wouldn't even need a knife, if that makes any sense at all. Next up at 17, we got Never Ever Getting Rid of Me by Christopher Fitzgerald from the Waitress musical. Waitress is good. There's a lot of good songs from Waitress. This is the one I like to sing a lot. All right, I'm skipping over a couple of these. Party on the Roof by Lake Street Dive. Now, this is a band that I like a lot, but every time I see their name, I call them Lake Street Drive. I can't help it.
'Cause there's a party on the roof.
Nothing against Lake Street Dive, but Party on the Roof would have absolutely been the song of the summer had anybody listened to it. Turn the Lights Back On by Billy Joel. Now, this song kind of sounds like someone went into a computer and said, give me a song that sounds like a new Billy Joel track, because that's what happened. A musician named Freddie Wexler reached out to Billy Joel and said, hey, I like your music a lot, and I'm trying to make a song that sounds like you wrote it. And Billy Joel said, hey, that does sound like I wrote it, so let's record it. And there you go. More Wonka, of course. We got Love from the Other Side by L'Imperatrice. Pearl Charles was a very exciting find for me this year, taking the number 34 and 38 spot. I don't know if Pearl Charles is the band or if it's the lady you see singing. I'm not looking into it. Third reprise, and Andrew Barth Feldman did a yacht rock cover of Wicked's Popular. I listened to this quite a lot, and then I stopped listening to it because I knew that the movie was coming out, and I didn't want to overdo it, and I haven't. Some more Waitress there. Hey, Waitress, Wicked, Wonka. It's a big year for musicals that start with W. Guy I Used to Be by Lawrence. Lawrence kind of taking it on the chin the last few months as people continue to drag them for a song that they say sounds like it was made for an Old Navy commercial. While I don't disagree, Old Navy commercials are kind of fun. And they need music, don't they? I Love LA is always going to show up on the list because, you know what? I do love LA. More Wonka, of course. Bones by Frog. Of course, more James Blake. That album he did with Lil Yachty is the bee's knees. Blonde by Rafaela. If I'm looking down this list and trying to find songs that I want to show other people, Blonde by Rafaela is certainly one of those. So I'm going to play a little bit of a clip here.
You would be a lot sluttier if you were blonde.
It's just so much fun. If you liked what you heard, check it out. Okay, now we find ourselves in an interesting spot here. At number 58, These Walls by Dua Lipa. Dua Lipa is almost always, if not in the top 5, on the list several times for me in the Spotify Wrapped. I'm a big fan of Dua Lipa. But this highlights a very interesting year for pop because we had albums by Dua Lipa, Ariana Grande, Taylor Swift, Billie Eilish, and yet the ones people are talking about are Chappell Roan and Charlie XCX. Step aside, pop queens. There's new royalty in town. And I believe they're all making way for the one true pop god, Carly Rae Jepsen, to release an album next year and have the charts all to herself. Please, God. Redline Supernova at 59. Kesha's Joyride. For my money, this is the song of the summer. You can put that on a t-shirt. Okay, Kamikaze by Carly Rae Jepsen. Eagle-eyed viewers will note that this was number 1 of last year, and it has slipped to 65, but that doesn't mean I'm not still pumping it. Beauty for Ashes. This goes along with Michael W. Smith. I did find myself accidentally in a contemporary Christian easy listening hole for a little bit where it was kind of all I listened to. You might see some songs on this list that are from that, and that's all I have to say. More show tunes at 74. This one's Who I'd Be by Brian Darcy James from Shrek the Musical. It's a good song. Jesse Reyes and Miguel, Indigo D'Souza, Maggie Rogers, Sabrina Carpenter. Not The Boy Next Door from The Boy from Oz, starring Hugh Jackman. I don't know what to tell you. Hugh Jackman does a performance of this at the 2004 Tonys, if I remember correctly. You gotta see it. Here's a clip.
No, I may look the same way to you.
Big fan of Hugh Jackman. We Danced Once on This Island. I've never seen this musical, but that came on my stuff and I listened to that. Peter Cetera's The Glory of Love. This will almost always make it on my list, or at least some sort of Chicago Peter Cetera facsimile. I just like these songs and they're good to sing at karaoke. Actually, a number of these songs come from listening to them over and over again to practice for karaoke, something I talked about in my last video. We got Radney Foster, Julian Nunes, De La Soul. We got Sleep at the Wheel. Oh, look at that. Meet me at our spot. Wabash Cannonball by Charlie McCoy. That's a country song. Making Breakfast by Samia. I love Samia. This is kind of a country song too. Dan Peake, Doer of the Word. This kind of entered into the list because of that kind of contemporary Christian easy listening Trojan horse that kind of got a few soldiers onto the list. It's a fun song, and I'll play a clip right now. Moxie Fruvis, King of Spain. I found this track in a Discover Weekly, and I liked it, despite it being extremely corny, and I listened to a bit of Moxie Fruvis without knowing who's in the band. And if you look it up, you'll know what I'm talking about. Angels, Nice as Fuck, and then Punto Cubano by Chucho Valdez and the Royal Quartet, rounding out the 100. Okay, that's my top 100. I hope you had a lot of fun learning a little bit about me and hopefully finding some new music to listen to. Like I said before, I'd love to learn a little bit about you as well. So please go to the comments and put your top 5 songs, your top 5 artists, and then something interesting about those lists. As always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video as much as I enjoyed making it. If you did in fact enjoy it, the freest way for you to support is to like, comment, and subscribe. It costs you nothing and it helps me so much. Be kind to yourself and everyone around you, gamers. Thank you, bye!